Well, hello friends and neighbors. This is Saturday, the day before Father's Day. Thinking about, well, I don't know what this video is going to turn out to be. It's just going to be a babble, ramble. Who knows? May not even get posted. Depends on how sappy it turns out, I guess. I am sitting on a log on what I hope is my property. I was talking with her aunt and trying to just double check, because this way is an opening, but there's also a secondary barbed wire fence. And everything I've gathered is it might be mine, or it might be the neighbors up the way. So, but I should be working. I should be doing something. But I'm not. I'm just not. Excuse me for a second. I don't like ticks. Procrastination at its best is the way we're going to look at this. I've got my dairy Peterson B10, or Peterson Dairy B10. I can talk. And in it excuse me, is GLP's Key Largo. First time trying it out. And well, first tin I've got. It's got the tin was from 19. So it's got a few years of age on it. But I'd never had it before and thought I'd try it. And if any of you don't know, this is my Latakia blend. Most blends that have Latakia in it get this pipe. Well, this B10. I've got another one that's more dedicated to Latakia blends. This is a Latakia blend, or a Virginia Perique, something like that. Just no burley in this one, no aromatic. But first time putting the blend in this pipe, so I just thought I'd get on and talk to you all. I've already wasted about 4 minutes just trying to just give out a few thoughts. That's bad. Yep, another tick. Any of you all don't know, I guess some of you folks that may be in the city that's not familiar with country, rural. A tick is like a lawyer. They're little bloodsuckers. And whenever they're done with you, they leave a big sore, and it lasts for a while. That part is true. The part about the lawyer being like a tick, that I don't know. I've only had to deal with just a couple. So, and most of them haven't been too terrible. But what I wanted to, it's almost 5 minutes now. This is kind of a a happy Father's Day video. So happy Father's Day out there to all you dads, be the children biological or not. It's still, that doesn't necessarily matter. At least in my mind. It might matter to some, but not to me. Because I have been that father figure to particularly one child that wasn't my own. Well, actually two now. But, most of one particularly is, I don't see her a whole lot anymore. And the other one is my niece. But I'd like to tell you a story. A story about me working and at the car shop, which was a railroad car repair, mostly repair facility in Raceland, Kentucky. At the time, one of the biggest ones on the East Coast. At least I believe that's correct. I think it was maybe a mile and a half long, maybe two. That seems awful lot, so maybe it's more of a mile. Multiple shops. It was in the day when it was conceived, essentially, and even when, the time of when my dad started there, they still ran. It was basically all they needed was just bolts, and basically can't think of the right word, but just bare materials. They could about make anything you needed, because they had a blacksmith shop and a fabrication shop. They would redo the wheels, paint the car. If a car was coming down to essentially be refit, because the center seal of a railroad car, it only lasts 50 years. So once the 50 year comes up, they have to tear it all down, scrap it, and then they'll make a new one, and so on and so forth. But about 25 years, about the center of it, they'll go in and strip it down to the center seal and make it a whole new car. Same numbers, because the numbers follows the life of the car. But they'll, whole new sides and ends and all that stuff. But when I was in my early 20s, I went to work there, and the first 10 months I was employed, it was in materials on second shift. And once time came, I got out of that and went on to do to do welding and learn how to do that, and learn the proper ways of using the torch, and there can be a certain finesse that comes to that. But should be smoking some, shouldn't I? Which were some of those skills I had learned just piddling around on second shift when I had some free time, and had a small understanding of it. And then I was, eventually had it all put to the test and properly learned. But on the cars, you would have some. We had some come in that they were just kind of getting a facelift. There was maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 years left before they were scrapped and redone. So we were just going in, essentially giving them a facelift, and send them back out. They were hauling coal. For the most part, they were all hauling coal. So it didn't have to be exactly pretty, just safe. Because that was a lot of it was safety. Certain guidelines that have to be met. But I think I was a shop float, which means if somebody called off or went on vacation, you had a vacancy relief, which was a bid job, and then you had extra guys who were just floating. So I filled a hole and was working at what we called the jacks, and there was a jack on each side. So you would pull the car and put one end underneath or over the jacks. They would pick one end up and then mirrored that on the other image on a different car. And you pull the trucks out, which is a whole two-wheel system. That whole thing is referred to as a truck. And you pull that out and it gets reworked, and you put a new fresh one in. But also there was I can't think of what it's called now, but there was a plate that had a round piece on it that sat on the truck, and they would either be welded or bolted or riveted in. Well, part of working there on that job is if you have to change one out, you have to get under there with a torch and turn the torch up, because you're essentially, if you can picture yourself sitting on a stool under a railroad car and you're holding a torch underneath and you're burning the heads off of these bolts. And being new to that spot, I had not done that before. And working around my dad. Now, I don't know what it was like for you all working with or around your dad, but I would not bid a job or try and get a job anywhere near mine, because the job that I do reflects on him. So I would rather just go and do my own and move on my work day. But I was doing that job, and I'd told them that I'd not done it before. They said, "Oh, okay. Well, you're going to do this one then, because there's nothing like trial by fire, literally." So I get under there and I'm wearing my burning shield, which is just a black shield. And I'm cutting heads off these bolts. Well, I'm burning the heads off these bolts. And I got somebody kind of off to the side watching a little bit, just making sure that I don't burn the center seal or anything like that, because you damage it, that's bad. That's no good. So I cut it out, And it normally, in some instances, it'd fall. Well, mine didn't fall. So someone took a hammer, 8-pound sledge, and just smacked it. You know, just kind of not hard, just like you'd pitch a ball. But instead of a ball, you're not throwing it; you're just swinging a hammer. Well, as soon as that happened, it fell. So that was a good clean job. And then, you know, the inspector got under there and checked, make sure that I didn't score anything or cut into anything. And so, you know, I just moved on with the job. Well, little did I know that word had gotten around, or I guess Dad come check or what have you, and they said I was under there cutting the plate out. And I didn't see him there, but I took and finished the job and put everything back and so on and so forth. Come to find out, around break time, he said, I went over and asked how well of a job you did, son. I said, oh yeah? Yeah. I asked the inspector, and he said that just barely put a small nick in it. He said, otherwise you did an excellent job. And Dad said, you know, I kind of swelled with pride with that. So, it meant a lot to hear that. Even as a, Lord, I was 23, 22, 23-year-old. Something's along them lines, something to that effect. So, there's my story. My Father's Day story. It's a story about Dad and moments. So, I'm going to leave you all with that. If you haven't tried it, and you like a lot of Kia and a little bit of cigar leaf, the Key Largo is pretty good. I have to smoke it more than this, so being this is, you know, more dedicated. But folks, I'm going to get off here and actually do something. You all take care. Enjoy your Father's Day. And remember, kindness costs us nothing.